Yeah, and it's the fact that they're anonymous. That's what he's right. They're like acting like they're in a witness protection program. We don't know who they are, and they act all tough. I may be the only person who barks about this, but I am a firm believer that it was a bad thing that the internet allows for anonymous comments, anonymous bloggers, anonymous this and that, anonymous profiles on MySpace and in our chat room. It's bad. You couldn't do that until the internet. You always had to show who you were.
So D-Medic makes the point, madness pulls up. It's got this thing against letting people get away with silly comments, because if those comments just keep coming, it would be a big waste of time to try to clean it up. So technically your YouTube channel is your home, so your rules apply.
That's right. I would not tolerate that stuff. If these people started posting this what do you call it?
Pro-intact, anti-circumcision.
Yeah, this bullshit. If they came out against circumcision, I would just delete it and block them. Done. Or if I didn't want to bother with it, I would just say, disable all comments.
You know what's frightening is that almost everything that D-Medic says makes complete, lucid, perfect sense to me. Yet, the guy tells us he's off his rocker. So, if he's off his rocker, and yet everything he says makes perfect sense to me, I'm concerned about my mental health.
I got to tell you this about D-Medic.
Yeah.
Not only, when you agree with him all the time,
yeah,
you're really agreeing with me all the time. Because I want to point this out to you, and I want you to take good notes. There has never been a time that he and I are ever on a different page. Because I would have a fit, and I'll tell you why. Because
that is scary.
No, he is using an anonymous name. I don't know what his name is, right? Do you? I don't. Right? So I would have a fit. I would never want to argue against somebody who's got an anonymous name. But it's never happened because D-Medic and I are always on the same page. And I think there was one or two times that we were off the page by a little bit, and I just paid attention to him. I was like, I can see his point. We're basically the same.
I thought I was on the same page with D-Medic.
No.
But if you're on the same page with D-Medic... Okay. Sports fan, so... Do you have anything from last week?
Yes. Or do you want to tell us more about your 12 steps?
I think I'm good.
Tell us any stories you've had with women in the last 7 days.
I haven't been with any women for 18 months.
You're not dating right now?
No.
What happened with that?
Just nothing happened. Petered out.
Sorry to hear that. I heard you had about 45 different reasons why...
Oh yeah, I've got 45 different reasons why I'm age 45 and have never married. So, okay, D-Medic says, I may be mentally screwed right through the damn loony bin, but he's not incorrect. Okay, but, that's hardly... Yes, okay.
I don't see that... those are mutually exclusive. Everyone knows I have a lot of problems upstairs, right? I've got anxieties, I've got OCD, I've got agoraphobia. I'm pretty screwed up, right? I may not be fit to work, I'm not stable, but I'm going to be right. What does that got to do with judgment? People who are like,
Well, most people are just going to say he's a lunatic.
Because they're stupid. They're the ones that are stupid, and they're the ones that need to be ignored, not me.
So, D-Medic says he's not schizophrenic or ungrounded. So what are you? I mean, from his writing is very clear, well spelled, punctuated. Okay, he's just bipolar, ADHD, and OCD.
Okay, so you're Jewish.
Yeah. Okay.
All the women I've ever dated are bi.
Yeah, not polar.
No, bipolar. They're bipolar, maybe.
Oh, they're bipolar?
Yeah, they're all bipolar. ADHD is just a cute way of saying that, you're a retard.
So, I've come up with the primary reasons I'm not married.
Okay.
So I think it's primarily because of certain flaws in my character, and I know this is going to come as a big shock to you. So we've been working together for a year, and you've always thought of me as like the perfect gentleman at all times. Yeah, I think the primary reason I'm not married is because I have a lack of regard for other people. I think I'm so intent on doing my own thing and imposing my own will on the world that I think very little about the feelings or welfare of others. So I'm not married for the same reason that I was not invited in second grade to my classmates Gavin Brown's birthday party. And I was not invited to the Sabbath home of any of my classmates Pacific Union College from 6th through 8th grade until midway through 8th grade when mother forced her son to invite me. So I think that's the primary reason I'm not married, never married. Secondary reason would be the combination of my 12 years writing on the porn industry combined with my conversion to Orthodox Judaism. So both choices severely restrict the pool of available wives. My chronic fatigue syndrome does not help. My poverty does not help. I think my poverty is primarily a reflection of my lack of moral character rather than a reflection of my circumstances. I think my tendency is to isolate myself from whatever community I join, whether it's the Los Angeles Press Club, the pornography industry, Orthodox Judaism, Conservative Judaism, Reform Judaism, Dennis Prager Circle. I always isolate myself.
I could have written that one about me, man. That is me. Okay, go on.
My narcissism and my fantasies of grandiosity. I remember once my therapist said to me, I'd hate to see you lose your life in delusion. So my constant attention seeking, my need for mirroring, my history of exhausting people and pushing their boundaries. My fears of abandonment and of commitment, my inability to hold on to myself when in relationship with those I value, aka my lack of differentiation. My chronic low-grade depression, my sex and love addictions, my overwhelming shame, the hole in my soul that I've tried to fill with excitement rather than intimacy, intensity rather than connection. It's hard to stay on the Torah farm once you've seen Paris. So those are the basics.
You forgot your beard. You know, you talked about your conversion to Orthodoxy. I wanted to say there's two parts to that. Conversion to Judaism, I should say. There's two parts to that. You say, well, one of them is it's cut you off from all the non-Jews, and right? That was your basic point.
Yeah, and basically non-Orthodox who aren't interested in becoming Orthodox.
But I'm going to say it also cut you off from a lot of people in the frum world that when you announce that you're a convert, because I hate to say it because it's really messed up.
Yeah, but just
because they don't want to be with a convert.
No, should they? Like, I totally understand that. I think you should want to be with someone with whom you have the maximum in common.
I think that's absolutely right.
So I think
I could not disagree with that more.
Converts should marry converts and Balei Tshuva, and from birth should marry from birth, generally speaking.
That is a very simple-minded, hey, I have blue, let's match it with blue. That's just simple-minded, that's like what a child would put together. And unfortunately, most of, I'm going to say, the Ashkenazi from world, that's the limited thinking that they have. And I blame that on hundreds of years of inbreeding. Has turned their brains into just mush. They cannot think for themselves outside of like the basic lowest common denominator stuff. It's like you walk in, you tall. I'll match you up with somebody tall. You know, it's like, can we try to get a little bit, a little bit deeper than that, and not just the first thing you see and just go with it? You know, if a woman walks in with black skin, she's Jewish, she's firm, right? Mm-hmm. They'll set her up with a guy who's got black skin. It's like, come on.
Do you think it's important that black people should marry each other?
We are Jew as a Jew.
If they keep mating with white people, the melanin is going to continue to decrease in their skin. And if, like, all black people intermarried with white people, in a few hundred years there'd be no more black people.
We're talking about within the Jewish community.
And what would that do to the NBA?
Okay. So it's like it's so retarded. It's like, let's try to think outside the box. I wrote a whole essay on this. It's in my book, a whole chapter in my book. The basic point is, you have someone who's a lifer, someone who's been from birth. They should be B'dafka. They should be with somebody who's new to it. They should be with a Baal Tshuva, or they should be with a ger, a convert, because they can help bring that convert up to their level. And they're not losing out on anything. They're doing a mitzvah by helping to bring somebody up to their level. Okay? And what are two people who are, let's say, both converts going to do, right? You're going to have problems because your family's not, let's say, not 100% supportive of everything you do, right? Now, let's say like you have a firm woman who was born into it. Her parents are into it, right?
Right.
So